more from a marketing standpoint. But 10 years in the financial services industry, right, before getting into the direct sales industry, 3 years with Wealth Masters, I was doing it more on the sales side, meaning I was selling investments, selling mutual funds, selling stocks. Now it's education, so somebody can go out and make their own decisions. So it becomes a much more valuable means of doing business versus just selling securities because they look good that day. And this is one of the issues with that industry is that there's a lot of conflicts of interest, a lot of politics. There's a lot of pushing of product that doesn't really necessarily fit that person. It's a very cookie cutter. It's Robert Kiyosaki calls it fast food financial planning, where it's heavily advertised, cheap and quick. That's like food, not money, and that's what happens out there.
It's not educated too,
It's not education. So when I moved to this phase of the financial services world, if you will, that's what inspires me, is that I now get to inspire. Where before I didn't really inspire anybody, I was just sold to them, right? It's a big difference. So that's I guess a long answer to a short question.
Okay, wonderful. And what's changed in your life in the last 3 years that you've come into Wealth Masters?
The awareness.
Yeah.
Awareness for sure, meaning awareness to how money works.
Okay,
And this is shocking to say right now, is
considering you're
a decade in the financial services industry, and there are people like, you don't know how money works? I'm like, not really. I knew how the system worked, and I knew how stocks and bonds and the stock market and the financial system worked. But when we mentioned this a second ago, when you learn how money works and you learn about currency and what a fiat currency really is, our currency backed by nothing, and you understand why and how these bailouts can take place, and you understand how natural resources and commodities come into the picture, and you realize how the world banks then come into the picture, and then how the Federal Reserve is in the picture. Now it's a whole different ballgame. This conversation, having this conversation for the first time is very intimidating to people. It's painful. You heard me say today on stage to some of the newer people that this will be uncomfortable at first. But you can't change without a little discomfort first.
Absolutely.
So if you don't want to change and you're happy with where you are now, which is not the great majority, then just keep doing what you're doing. But if you want to change and you know you need to change, well, you need to get educated about money and how it works in society, or you won't be comfortable in society.
Yeah, true. And what do you see happening in the next
predictions.
in the 6 well no really like in this next 6 months, because we're moving into a time where everything is going to be turned so high, and what media is doing is making it look like it's just at a bubbling point. It's just gently on a warm, gentle heat, but really there's so much. It's like an inner fire is bubbling within a volcano.
Right.
And
you mean to the system, the economy, the whole?
To everything that has to do with the system and the Federal Reserve. It's so huge.
It actually becomes, this is the kind of question that if you ask the general public or a traditional financial service advisor, they'd say, well, predictions, this could happen, that could happen. When you really go deep down this avenue, if you will, I can tell you exactly what's going to happen. The more money you print, this is like 2 + 2 = 4. The more money you print, the higher inflation goes. The higher inflation goes, the lower the dollar goes. The lower the dollar goes, the higher natural resources like gold and silver go. There you go. I mean, that's, again, 2% of the population gets that arithmetic. 98% don't hear about that in the newspapers and on the news, and they're just hoping for the best. They're hoping for a recovery. They're thinking that there will be a turnaround, and there may be temporarily, but you can't ever repair a problem doing what we're doing now, because everything that's happening right now, all you need to do is read history books. This isn't even up for debate. Exactly the same mistakes that were made during the Great Depression are happening right now. There's nothing different. It's just delaying the inevitable right now. It's not even an opinion. This is fact. So that's, you get me on a tangent now.
Gotta see that passion.
But you know what? It's good that we're having this conversation, because if what you're trying to show your viewers right now, what happens within this community and at these conferences, well, this has been deep. This is what happens for 3 days. And when people leave here for 3 days, the word you used earlier was empowerment. Empowerment is that's liberating.
Yes, it is.
People leave, I know for a fact, because I've been to 7 events and I host most of them, that people walk out of here empowered and then liberated. Meaning now I know that I have 2 sets of choices. I can buy this system the way it was, or I can buy into a new set of beliefs that will probably serve me better based on what's happening, because now they're educated. Now
Absolutely.
They have awareness. Big difference.
Oh, it is. It really is. And I want to just share with everybody here that the system has been created to enslave you, and now that the system is breaking open and the chains that have been binding, the invisible chains that have been really enslaving you, are now slowly falling apart, and you don't know what to do because that power and control has always been a stance in your life. And now it's like walking on new ground with new legs and new eyes, and you just don't know what that landscape looks like. And I just really want to say to you that please do educate yourself. Understand the monetary system. Understand the government. Understand how things work in the world. Understand that the water that you drink, some people do not even have access to that. And that's what inspires me to be here at this Wealth Conference, is to be here for the voices and the eyes and the ears of people that are not able to be here.
People here take a stand. That's the bottom line. And people that take a stand in life generally are leaders and generally are people of influence. And they're people who do quite well in any business or any society. The good majority of people here have kind of drawn the line in the sand, and they want to be that voice. I'm doing it, you're doing it, and there's a great number of people here that are doing it. It's why our company will be going public in a few years. It's why we're attracting national celebrities and some very, very big names. Some I can't even mention that are huge. Somebody like G. Edward Griffin, who wrote the Creature from Jekyll Island, will be coming on board as a spokesperson. Wayne Allen Root, who's the lead candidate for President of the United States in 2012 for the Libertarian Party. Those are just two names. There's a few more in the pipeline right now that we're dealing with that people realize that financial education and empowering people about money is, there's not a lot of people doing this. Like our company.
As the whole, like this whole conference, there's so much packed into it that it isn't just focusing on wealth. We also had Glenn Olson speak yesterday, which was incredible.
Powerful, yeah.
About the pharmaceutical industry. Now, I don't go see doctors. My daughter, who is now 8 years old, she's never been into a doctor's office. She just doesn't. We don't do it. And I learned that at the age of 14 that the system doesn't work for people. Personally, that's my opinion. It's my reality.
We could do like a whole other interview on that cartel, right?
Yes, we could. And so the Wealth Masters is not just about finances. It's about wealth of who you are on the inside and the outside. And learning and exposing the truth is really why we're here. And it's just on day 2, and we've got 2 more days to go. It's just been incredible.
It is.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Andrew.
This was a pleasure.
Yes, appreciate it.
You got it.
And we'll see you later. Thanks for watching.